has been informed that it is no longer appropriate for him to contact me. I let him know if he continued to do so that he was going to get posted up as a scammer. And that's what he's getting. I'm not going to fucking argue with you. This guy doesn't have any time, because he's got his own problems. Great fucking news. A lot of people, their excuse, oh, well, everybody's got problems. You goddamn right everybody's got problems. The severity and degree of those problems is what needs to be looked at. The help and assistance of those people is what needs to be looked at. Gary screwed up big. Today was the third time that although he doesn't have any time to give his word, he'll give his word, he just won't keep it. When you talk to him, well, instead of fucking listening, he wants to talk about how Donald Trump is the second incarnation of Jesus or some fucking nutty bullshit. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. This is the third time that he's gone manic as fuck on me. Not easy to deal with. When you say you can't help because you got your own problems, well, you need to fucking fess up to that. See, the cops write down whatever the fuck they want. They write down that I'm not trying to get help. Well, obviously that's not the case. Obviously I've tried to get help from Gary Bardwell. He hasn't spoken up. He's got excuses. But they're just excuses. Just like with the Clang family. Sure, it was supposedly the grandma that died, but later on they changed it to it was an aunt that died. I went back and looked, it wasn't an aunt that died, it was supposedly the grandma. And she's a fucking bee. Now there's a goddamn bee in my car. And it's a big fucker. I guess I'll get out of my vehicle for a few. I don't know if it can sting or not. It's not a bumblebee, but it's big and furry. Anyway, the situation with Gary Bardwell, you know, if you're going to help. If you're going to waste somebody's time for months and months and months and just ignore them for months after saying you're going to help them. And then, of course, on my timeline, I got all this stuff popping up about Donald fucking goddamn Trump. And the second coming of Donald Trump. I guess that would be Donald Herbert Walker Trump, wouldn't it? So Gary, the first time he did that, he eventually said he was sorry and he wasn't going to do it again. Fine. He's got plenty of time for posting stuff up. He's got plenty of time for arguing. I mean, obviously, all 3 of those days where he was being a ginormous fucking knockhead, well, all 3 of those days he wanted to be insulting and make fun of me. And of course, it's for likes. You know, he wants the challenge. He wants to see 30 likes up there from his friends and a bunch of ha-has on the comments from me. And really, that's not help. If I gotta message you publicly on your timeline because you're not keeping your word, that's on you. That is on you. If other methods do not work, well, I'm going to show the truth no matter what. If I got to get a hold of you by typing on your public Facebook posts about the reality of who you are and what your true colors are, I'll do that. No problem. I need help, not pretty words, not arguments. Gary Bardwell, the last time he did this was just a few days ago. And I was sick of it. And I let him know I was sick of it. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I need fucking help. Are you going to help me or no? Because if it's a no, you need to go the fuck away. Well, he just didn't get that. Apparently, the English language is too much for him to understand or comprehend, which is odd because I haven't heard him speak any other languages. Don't fuck with me. Don't play head games. Now Gary wants to talk about how he wants to blow his head off. Well, you guys know how I feel about that. I don't want him to blow his head off, but I think there should be a suicide booth for him to have the option. I mean, between his landlord coming in there and finding his stinking, rotting corpse covered in flies and maggots and pouring bodily juices all over the couch, and going to a suicide booth. You go to the suicide booth, you press the magic button, you go to sleep. Hell, they could even make the suicide booths so that it's an all-in-one. If you go to a suicide booth, and let's say you're an organ donor, well, I don't think that suicide booth is going to do everything to help as far as the organ donation goes. But, of course, if you can have a machine that's pumping helium through it, that's probably the most humane way to do it. You pump helium through it, that's a noble gas. It's non-flammable. And your body confuses it for oxygen. Now, if you can create a feed system so you can push a gas through there, even a noble gas, then you can use that same system to cremate somebody. So they can actually use that suicide booth not only to get rid of their pain, to get rid of your mess. That's right, I say your mess because if there's a body in your living room, it's not that body's mess, that's your mess. That body is in your living room and you are the one who has to find a way to get it removed. They're obviously not going to do a goddamn thing to have their own body removed because they're dead. Now, for me, I was trying to get heard before people ended up dead. But no, my supposed friends just wanted to tell me I just gotta love myself, or they're sorry. They wanted to tell me that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, or I just need to man up. That's right, when it's a male victim, you victimize them for coming forward. You victimize male victims for coming forward. Gary Bardwell is no different. Now, he wants to tell me about his problems. Fine. If I can help you with your problems, I will. But I don't need fake friends. If you're my friend, then you should care about my well-being and my safety. I don't have a single goddamn friend in the world, and I never did. That's fucking obvious. I had opportunists who pretended as long as it was beneficial to them. Like Miss Peaches pretending that she was going to come forward. Pretending for months and months and months and months while I took abuse. When I finally had to do something desperate, because she wasn't coming forward and she wasn't keeping her word. Well, yep, you guys got to see how that turned out if you paid attention, which you probably didn't. Most of you who come here because of nut jobs who have, well, websites that you like. They're able to do that fancy stuff. They have a place to sit down and do those things. They're not constantly running around trying to find a place to fucking survive. Not live, this is not a life, but just simply to fucking survive. I don't even have that. I don't have that because of victimization. And when you tell me that I chose this, no, I did not. I did not choose for people to victimize me. I did not choose for people to not give a shit. I didn't choose for my dad to take advantage of me in the way that he did. I didn't choose for Miss Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo, to take advantage of me the way that she did. I didn't ask any of these people to commit any of the felonies or misdemeanors that they committed. What I asked for them to do is to tell the truth. That was Gary typing at me again. Now, obviously, since he's suicidal, you guys should call up and have him committed to a mental institution. What'll that do? Well, he just got into a place. If you lock him up like that, he'll lose his place and everything in it, and then, of course, that increases, not decreases, his chances of committing suicide. Now, Gary Bardwell obviously needs some help. Now, I'd work together with him, but it's that whole together thing. No, it's not about being together. For him, it's about talking about Donald fucking Trump and Jesus. Donald Trump and Jesus. Two men I have zero respect for. Jesus, it just depends. If I think of Jesus as a good man, absolutely, I've got nothing but respect for him. But as the Son of God, no. I cannot respect that. If I were God, there would be no doubt in anyone's mind that there was a God. I would use my powers to stop child molesters. What would Jesus do? He'd watch like a pervert. God sees everything, right? What a sick piece of... Oh my God. Anyway, we'll give you Gary Bardwell's number here. We got to make sure that we get these scammers out there. Folks who pretend like they're going to help a disabled person but don't. No call, no shows. Just like my public pretenders. Repeatedly. No call, no show. No call, no show. See, instead of allowing me to take care of the court stuff that I needed to take care of in Colorado, I was forced to move repeatedly across the state of Colorado because I wasn't allowed to leave because of false charges, because of an assault by an officer with a history of assault both before and after me. Of course, we got the fakies like Evan Ravitz and Darren O'Connor who pretend. They pretend on the homeless dollar and on the homeless dime and on the homeless cause. When it comes down to it, that ain't what they're about. They're about their own prestige. They're about getting heard bitching, but not doing a goddamn thing to actually change it. If you're going to ignore the victims, You do not get to pretend that you're fighting for their rights. Gary Bardwell's number is 678-913-7497. Now, if somebody wanted to call him up and try to give him some emotional and moral support, or to hate on me, he might be totally down with that. However, it is my recommendation that you don't call or talk to Gary Bardwell because, of course, it's not going to end well. He'll ignore you after saying he's going to do something. And then when you type something he don't like, well, he'll type at you all fucking day. Like, fuck, I want to say this is now the 4th time doing this with Gary. Except this time, I'm not going to fucking be nice. I don't have the ability to be nice. I don't accept I'm sorries, I accept changed behaviors. You notice I changed my behavior. I went from being the nicest guy on the planet to being an asshole. Because being nice doesn't stop the abuse. Asking your rapist to stop shoving his cock up your ass isn't going to get him to stop. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind. Oh yeah. And don't fucking take advantage of disabled people, asshole. Now he's suicidal after wanting to argue all day and me telling him, hey, leave me the fuck alone. Stop harassing me. He just keeps on fucking pounding it out. Big fucking difference between this situation and the situation with Natalie. He's just harassing me. I was trying to get abuse to stop. And I went where I was supposed to. I went to the source of those rumors. That'd be Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie. When that didn't work, I went to my friends. When that didn't work, I went to the police. And I kept it on that fucking rotation, although most of the time, I ignored and avoided Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie and tried to get help from my friends, which I don't actually have, obviously. I tried to get help from law enforcement. I tried jumping through all the hoops of, oh, you're suicidal. Well, you should go see a therapist, and you should jump through these hoops, and you should jump through those hoops. No, bitch, you should do something about the fucking abuse that has pushed me to this point. You fucking cowards. I don't want my life to end because I have a chemical imbalance. I want my life to end because I am perpetually fucking abused. And I don't have a vagina, so there's no help for me. I don't have a vagina, so I can't have my predators thrown in prison off of just words. I don't have a vagina, so I'm not allowed to show evidence. I'm not allowed to face my accusers. There is nobody in the United States of America that I have any respect for other than myself. Nobody. Not a goddamn one of you. A lady I helped to find named Casey, she disappeared not once but twice. And she's got this impression that I just need someone to vent at. Today, I tried to type it as nicely as I can. I don't ever say anything just to vent. I'm not telling you these things to vent. I'm telling you these things because I need help stopping it. And if you're going to make me type the whole goddamn thing out in fucking texting, you are a fucking piece of shit for making me do it that way. Especially when you're just going to go out of your way to reinterpret every goddamn thing I type into something completely different anyway. Now, Casey isn't doing that last part with me. She's not treating me like that. But she's got this impression that what I needed is someone to bitch at. And no, it's not about having someone to bitch at. I'm not telling you this shit to bitch. I'm telling you this shit to try to get fucking help. Actual goddamn help. You guys tell me, oh, well, you need to be locked up in an institution. Really? I'm not the one fucking raping little kids, you piece of shit. That's Tim Beeson and Ted fucking Bollinger. That's Mark Richmond. Those are your child molesters. Michael Albert, there's your child molester. I don't like child molesters. I don't have to. I'm not required by law to like child molesters. God damn. When it comes to Gary Bardwell, you know what? Whatever fucking problems he's got, he can keep them. He's not going to help me. I'm not going to help him. I don't fucking know him. I don't know the guy. Like most of these people, I don't know him. If he was to say, hey man, why don't you come to Georgia? If you come to Georgia, I can help you. I already know that going to Georgia is not going to get me fucking help. I already know, because of the way that Gary Bardwell is, that he is not going to listen, that he is going to talk about him and Donald fucking Trump and his fake ass fucking Jesus. There's another thing there that completely baffles me. This guy, he's black, right? And you'd think that people who are going through adversity like that and being victimized would want to stand up for other people who are being victimized. But no, apparently the Jesus told him that homosexuals aren't people and it's okay to hate them. There's something wrong there, ain't there? So, of course, he wants black rights, but he doesn't want homosexuals to have those rights. But then again, he's fine with homosexual women. So apparently God is only against male homosexuals. Just like Facebook. Well, anything that you type about men, you get away with. But if you change one word in that sentence, Facebook will have you banned. You change the word man into woman. Try it. I dare you. Gary wanted to talk to me about being targeted. He ain't been targeted. He has not been targeted. I'm telling the truth about the situation, and that is not targeting an individual. That is stating a fucking fact. I'm not your bitch. And if you want me to shut up, you're gonna have to fucking kill me. That is what it will take, obviously. In 6 years, you haven't been able to shut me up. Gary Baldwell has not been involved in this for 6 years. I didn't even know who he was until I came to Oregon. But the thing is, if he's going to be an overwhelming fucking asshole and then he's going to, oh, I'm going to kill myself. Well, that's your right. And I support your right to kill yourself. I don't support your right to be a fucking asshole to innocent people. I don't support your right to be a fucking lying asshole. I don't support Trump. And I sure as fuck don't support Christianity. I also don't support the law because the law doesn't work. Only certain people are required to follow the law. If you're broke, well, let's say there's a piece of property and you're not allowed on it, but one little teeny tiny quarter of an inch of the sole of your shoe is barely over the edge of that property. Well, if you're broke, a cop will come harass you about it. If you're not broke, that cop, depending on how rich you are, will come and fucking assist you. Now, of course, we've got TV shows now and YouTube channels now that are dedicated to making fun of homeless people. Not that we don't have a hard enough time already with the police and the media trying to paint the homeless. All the homeless must be rapists. All the homeless must be murderers. All the homeless must be child molesters. All of the homeless must be druggies. And we have pushed this to the point that none of these quote-unquote professionals actually have to do their jobs. In the last 6 years, I've only had one whiz quiz. It's not that I didn't ask everywhere that I went, it's that they refused me the right to take one. But then, of course, they write down what the cops tell them. Well, that's pretty fucked up. Now, as far as my hospital paperwork goes, for the places that claimed that I was on drugs, it shows in their very own paperwork that they never gave me a UA. They just assumed. Well, they assumed from day one, which means that they didn't assume. They were told that I was something that I'm not by someone who is not a professional in a capacity to make that decision about me. How is it okay for a sheriff that I'm trying to turn in to diagnose me as schizophrenic? Well, it's not okay. It's against the law. It's rampant felonies. I mean, there's at least 7 felonies inherent in just that statement. Then there's the fact that there's the evidence of it. It's not like I've gone out of my way to destroy everything. No, I've gone out of my way to make sure that I save the evidence. It's everyone else who has gone out of their way to destroy evidence or refuse to look at it. Without your help to get this evidence seen, I have to take this abuse for the rest of my life. I'm stuck out here with the people that you don't want in your own fucking houses, but you're going to put them out here to victimize us. Why? Because you're Americans. And you're taught to be superficial pieces of shit. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.